Hi. I went to this group today called Love of Tea in Pittsfield, and I heard about them when I was homeless. And they were founded because the founder's mom took her life, and I guess he thought, what if there were just little more resources and a place for people to talk, and sometimes that is the thing that saves someone's life. Uh, and so I went there for the first time last Monday, and I had a good time. And I went there on Wednesday and met some new people, and again today. And something I've been feeling is very invisible. I feel like a lot of things have happened to me that don't make sense, and there's never any resolution. And everything that happens and is unresolved, it just adds to the growing list of things in my life that are unexplained, yet somehow connected in ways that I get. Um, and so I'm trying to live in the present day after all of the stuff that has happened to me. And it's hard because, how do you live in the present when your whole life has been trauma? So I went to Love of Tea today and expressed my authentic self. And I got a little upset because there was a conversation I was having with the lead peer coordinator there today. Um, and she had heard about, I talked about the last time I was there, things that I've been through. And she said, I feel badly for you. And I understand she was trying to be empathetic, but at the same time, that made me upset and alienated. Uh, I don't want. Why do you feel badly for the vulnerable person that comes in here to talk? Like, I'm not here for you to feel badly at. I'm here for you to talk to me like a human being. And so I was upset at that, and I told her that I was, but I admitted that I was being kind of unreasonable at the same time, and uh, and that I was being very defensive. And her response to me was, "Yes, you are being very defensive." And she seemed the liveliest when she had that to say. I don't understand that. That was like the peak of her expression to me. Um, and then she said something like, "If that's good to know though. I just want to talk to you. I'll leave you alone. Because I did feel kind of offended to be told that she felt badly for me. But then I told her, well, I don't want that. I didn't come in here to offend you. I don't want to just do that." And then she said, "Oh, no, 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 no." And and then it- we had a conversation a little bit after that about the Americans with Disabilities Act. And this is another thing that triggered me is I have been met with the language of compliance and being recited the Americans with Disabilities Act to my face by people who are actively obfuscating and subverting it to deny me my disability rights. And I specifically said that to her. And I said that, we were having a discussion about the ADA. And she said, well, there's someone who comes in the office here who is, a client or something similar to something adjacent here. I don't know, a social work client or something, who has a service dog, but the office manager here is allergic to dogs, so they just meet her outside. I thought that's not illegal. In fact, the ADA specifically provides for allergies and fears of dogs. Neither are valid reasons um, to deny a service animal. And she kept conflating a service animal with a pet, and she also used the term service pet, which doesn't exist. So I told her that that doesn't exist, and then she got angry, and I got angry because I have been beaten, stalked, libeled, mostly by people that I don't even know. I think because of how vocal I was about politics in the not so distant past. And that a person who is, she said she has 12 years of training experience. A person with 12 years of training and experience in peer support or providing, it sounds like maybe she might be a social worker or something. Uh, like I want that to inform what I tell you next. So we were already having these two interactions that were not great, and I felt kind of invalidated and shut down by her. Like, look, this is a space literally for vulnerable people to come and talk about what's happening to them, without involving someone having to go to an institution and things like that, a non-judgmental place, right? So, so I came with my authentic self today, and not being afraid of being insecure and judged. And I feel that I was judged because the next thing that she did is she said, I don't need to listen to this. I won't be told how to do my job. And she got out and she stormed out. And this was as I was apologizing multiple times while trying to express myself, while also being knowledgeable that I was being slightly unreasonable at the same time. And I'm really tired of extending that kind of awareness as a vulnerable person who's not getting the help the services that I need to people who are supposed to be providing the spaces where you're supposed to be non-judgmental and helping people process the things that are happening to them. Like it, why do I, the guy with CPTSD, the guy with addiction, who's managed to stay sober even through all of this, which I am very proud of, why do I, the guy with low vision, why do I have to be the bigger person than a fucking peer coordinator or provider, for that matter, in whatever capacity, any kind of advocate? It doesn't make sense. You cannot call yourself an advocate and I'm just going on a rant, but people who, the person who seems to get off on informing you about a lot of things, but then gets mad when you tell them something factually that does not comport with their belief system, and they will then either go out of their way to step on you, or they will simply withdraw completely, which is the right to do that, the second one. But again, if you're literally providing a space for vulnerable people and then you then go off on those vulnerable people, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm not afraid to ask that question anymore. Um, so I had a conversation after that with the founder, Luke, who came in. He seemed like a nice guy. Uh, I wonder if he only came in because she sent him a text or something, because that happened. I would bet that's what that was. And Luke and I had a very nice conversation, and he seems like a good guy. And I'm glad that I had that room to walk into today and talk to someone, even though that happened. But like, I don't understand how there are so many people who call themselves advocates and peer supports who literally step on and ignore the people that they're supposed to be providing support for, if those people are actually more knowledgeable than them about something, or if they're simply saying, hey, please talk to me like a human being and don't just give me all these one-way scripts that I've already heard, which is also specifically something that I said today. I want to be talked to like a human being, not some script. And I just can't take just hearing the same thing over and over and over. And that seemed to make her upset. And it's like you keep reaching out for help and advocacy, and that keeps being the result. That's my experience, and I just don't get it. And I feel like a lot of people with severe trauma seem to be more mature than some of the people that are in these advocacy spaces who they can't even have a conversation. And again, I've been beaten, I've been stalked, I've been libeled, I've had so many things happen. I've had my service dog denied to me, who's dead now. Uh, and and you go to do an advocacy space like this, and you expect some level of respect or understanding, and to be met with the kind of behavior that I saw today, um, it's left me very confused. And honestly, it was traumatizing. I think her name was Marquita, and if Marquita wants to have an honest conversation about the law and work, that'd be cool. If not, I guess I'll talk to someone else, which is fine. But it's disturbing to me profoundly as someone who has had a life where I haven't seemed to have that many options, where I reach out to one, and how how dare you tell the place that you're going to get help, the kind of help that you need? How dare you? That's basically what it was. And this is an able-bodied person who walked themselves out of the room, got in their car, and left. That's the dynamic. And here I am having to live, my life, this second-class disabled life that's been my entire fucking life, erased by people like this. Erased. That's what this is. It is complete and total erasure and disengagement. And they say you got to be the change you want to see, and that's really hard when you don't even have your own life. But those are just some thoughts I had. I'm gonna go now, and hope you have a good night. Bye, YouTube.